Hello, let's directly jump into the code. You see there is a method, do something. It has some business logic here. It has defined the path of a source file, a text file, and variable name is path source. Same way, this is path to some destination. And then a method copy is called from file operation. It has 4 arguments, path source and path destination, which we defined here, are passed. True and false, these are two booleans passed to this method. There is another method here, do something more. It is again having the same stuff, calling the file operations copy method and again passing the booleans. True and false were passed here. Here false and true are passed. That's the difference. And there is one more method, do something less. It is doing the same stuff. File operations copy method is called thrice. We understand what it is doing by looking at the signature, but these two arguments, we don't know what they are doing. Let's do one thing. Let's go inside this copy method and see. Let's read the Java doc here. So override says, if it is true, override the existing destination file, otherwise append to it. Okay, so if it's true, it override the existing file completely, and if it is false, it adds the data to the same file. What is this backup option doing? If it is true, backup the existing destination file. Okay, so before doing any changes, possibly it might be taking the backup of the state of the file. So now looking at the method signature and the Java doc, we are able to figure out what these two booleans are doing. Imagine a situation when you don't have ID or when you cannot access the Java doc immediately. Maybe you are just doing a code review. Maybe you are just doing a dry run at the code base, trying to understand what's going on. So it's not always very easy to go inside each and every method or use your ID to pull the Java doc. So we can easily say when we have such method calls where we have a lot of arguments and just by looking at them, we don't figure out what it is. And if these methods are called at multiple places, or imagine if this method is inside another library, it leads to these challenges. Clarity issue with Boolean parameters. Of course, with Boolean, we don't know what we are doing, why we are passing false, why we are passing true. And if this code is inside the library, then probably this library is not very user friendly. And of course, it creates confusion. But what's the solution to it? There can be multiple, as always. But the one which we are going to try today is this one. We are going to refactor these methods and we will try to use enums. So let's see how it is done. So idea here is that we will replace these two Boolean arguments with enums. So let's define these enums somewhere. Okay, so in this enum, we have defined two options, true and false. Let's try to make them more intuitive. When I'm copying a file, do I want to overwrite the content or not? Answer may be yes or no. So how about defining it like this? Yes, and then no, and which says false. So we have defined this enum. So our second enum is also defined. Enum name is backup option. Now time has come to change these methods. Here override option we will define and backup option, and we will fix these things. Let's say value. Okay, so it shows there are 3 problems. Let's go here. Okay, so now these methods accepts Boolean. Let's change them. First one was overwrite option, and here it was true. Okay. Yes. So we want to keep a backup. No. So we are discarding the file. Same way, we need to fix these also. Now, just by looking at the signature, you can figure out that okay, here in this code, we are trying to overwrite a file and we are not taking a backup. Same way here, we are trying to keep the backup and we are not trying to overwrite. So pro tip here is that usage of enum sometimes makes the method signatures and method calls easy to understand and intuitive to use. Thank you. Happy coding. And if you have some queries, please feel free to leave the comment.